Good morning, badasses. So today I have another guest on the podcast who I am super stoked to talk to. She's very motivational, energetic, spunky. She's actually a lot of fun, so I'm going to enjoy this conversation. Her name is Trissa, and believe it or not, we were bus buddies. God, that sounds terrible. BUS bus buddies back in the day. And it's, riding the bus to school. And it's been a long time. And so recently we've started chatting. We found each other on social media and kind of been following each other's journeys. And she has come so far in the last year that I wanted to bring her on here and know all of her secrets and what she's up to. So, Trissa, go ahead and fill in the blanks. Introduce yourself and tell us about you.
Oh gosh, it's really funny that you said bus buddy thing. I'm serious. You guys, seriously, I remember I distinctly remember watching Sasha and her sister get on the school bus and be like, oh my gosh. I can't even know their name, but I was like, oh, it's them. I don't know. I'm always like, they're so cool. Oh, it's so funny. Anyways, yeah, I'm Trissa Badorf. I have 3 babies. I'm a stay-at-home mom as well as a health and wellness coach. So basically what that means is I just, all via online, all through at home, through my phone, through email. I basically help women stay accountable with their health and love themselves through any season that they're in their life, to just really show up for themselves and to, get healthy and get more fit. I don't like the word skinny. I don't like any of that. We're getting healthy fit. We're healthy. We're getting, things like that. But I've gone through a lot of anxiety and depression where it's been severe and when it's not been. So I enjoy helping women realize their worth and to get out of that kind of mindset to just show up for themselves and be present. So but
awesome.
Yeah.
I love every part of this. So let's hear a little bit about your story. Where did this start?
So basically, when I started this, okay, so my daughter's a year old. I have 3 children, but when my daughter was born, I didn't want to go back to work. I had a job that I thought was my dream job, but I ended up really realizing that I was settling for something that I thought would impress my family. Basically, you go to school and everybody's like, oh, she didn't go to school and pursue what she went to school for. She wasted so much money. And I didn't. For me, that was a big deal. My parents didn't go to college. So for me, that was a big goal to, I had my first child as a senior in high school. So my mission was to graduate high school, go to college, beat statistics, and impress my family, to say the least. So to be real, and I'm super proud of that, I would never take that away, but being at a job that I graduated with school was something that was really on my goal list. And so I decided to do this job, and I liked it at first. And then, of course, once you realize something's not for you, you either get rid of it or you just are miserable. And for me, I was miserable. And so after I had my daughter, I was talking to my husband, and I realized, I said, I just want to stay home with our kids. It would save us so much money in daycare. And I didn't want to go back. I needed something different. And so we decided I was going to stay home. I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I was so excited. And after my 3rd baby, I realized this is a lot harder to get back to where I want to be with my fitness. Being a mom it's hard to find the time to put in the time for your workouts, or you have a harder time, it's harder to haul 3 kids to a gym. And I didn't want to pay a sitter to watch my kids for an hour. I don't know. So it was hard. And I was trying to find a way to make it work, because I had this amazing husband. I was at home. I had these 3 beautiful babies, but my body just, I was so unhappy, and I could feel my depression creeping in on me of all those doubts, you know, that we tell ourselves, and um how we get down on ourselves as women so easily, and men. But so anyways, basically a gal reached out to me and she asked me if I wanted to give this a try. And so I said, you know what? I don't know how else to lose weight. So why not be a yes person and just go for it and challenge myself and see what happens? You know, like I don't
I
have
love
any,
that.
you know, yeah, like I don't have anything else to lose. So I tried it, and I did one fitness program, and I fell in love. I dropped 13 pounds and 10 inches in 30 days. I went balls to the wall. I did not hold back. And after that, I said, how do I be a coach? I want to coach people. I said, where do I start? Because I just want other people to realize that they can do this too. And so I signed up in January, and I've been coaching since January, and I'm in love. I'm in love with it.
Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, you've watching you grow, and I've probably been following you since January. Who knows?
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
following you a while. But just watching your progress and how you just continuously like put yourself out there. You know, you are a stay-at-home mom, and you know, you are a genuinely happy person. So do you still ever get those, you know, bouts of anxiety and depression? And if so, how do you handle it now?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I still get it. It's still, anxiety and depression is not, it's no joke. I feel like that's another struggle I've had in my life is, in my family, everybody knows Trissa has anxiety and depression, or maybe Trissa should go see a doctor, or maybe she should go see, you know, all these terrible, um, terrible things, I guess, that anxiety and depression falls under. People just don't, they either don't believe you or they think you are really sick, you know? And so, um, that's something I've struggled with. It's been really severe, and it's been really great where I don't have a spell for months, but I've had spells where I'm literally, um, my husband works a lot, and so he works late at night sometimes. So I've literally had anxiety attacks in my hallway. And I'm not just saying breathing hard, freaking out in my mind. I'm saying like shaking, sweating, hyperventilating in a ball while my 1-year-old son is like in a crib next door, like thinking somebody's gonna like come into my house, and all of these terrible things. It's been really serious and like really bad. And so after working on myself and with my health and my fitness, I truly think they go hand in hand. Like I'm a firm believer that, you know, when you work on yourself and you show up for yourself and you pour into you, then you can pour into others, and you're just at a healthier place in your mind, in your life. So ever since I started doing that, I can feel that creeping up before it gets out of control, and I have no control over what's happening or anything like that. So yeah, of course I still feel anxiety and things like that pop in, just because, not because I'm scared or I'm living in fear, but because I'm jumping fences in my life, like going for goals, or I'm pushing myself to be a better person. And sometimes that's always a little scary to be like, oh gosh, what if? And so, but it's something I'm able to handle now because I have a good grasp on, these are my triggers, this is what I'm doing. And but I mean, I'm human, you know, and so it's still a game of trying to figure out how I work. And I think that that's kind of more powerful in itself, to realize how strong and how far I've actually come, and how I'm able to control it much more now.
Yes. So you yeah, you're in control of like your own emotions, focusing on you, staying in your own lane, and we're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing. And I'm also a firm believer in that if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And if you're not
Yeah.
growing and expanding your mind and feeding and nourishing your body and moving your body, you know, like a body in motion stays in motion. And then people, I'm not even going to get on that tangent. So you you have this confidence about you. You say that you have a different sense of anxiety and fears, and you are making leaps and bounds, and it just looks like you're unstoppable. So on the inside, walk us through some strategies, some tools that you use, to help other women say, like, you can do this. And how is it that you're so confident in overcoming all of these fears?
My biggest, my I just can't get over this, is the community of women that I have all of their lives and like been a part of. I've gained so many like really close friends that I've never met in person, like all via online.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I started this journey, being pregnant at a young age and not knowing what to do when all your friends are going to college or getting married super young, and you lose friends. Like, people evolve, life change, people move away. And I was so young with such a big life change that I felt really alone. And of course, anxiety and depression kind of played into that too. But, I felt like I didn't have anybody. I was so like, gosh, I craved that friendship and that type of support and community. And I didn't even know it until I started the journey, that I was like, oh my gosh, so now I have all of these amazing women in my life that seriously inspire me every single day. So before you start anything, start first, stay in your lane, focus, like seriously, like don't compare yourself. That comparison game is bad. It will be so toxic to your life. But I said, you know what, you're going to do this. So stick with it and just do it. Like, you have to just start somewhere, even if you're scared. And so basically I surrounded myself with really positive, uplifting people. I wanted to follow successful people. I wanted to basically set myself up for success by being with happy freaking people. And,
Yes.
being with like powerful women who, maybe have overcome something crazy, or maybe even not at all. And they're so inspiring and they're motivational, because it's that kind of feeling is addicting and it's very contagious. And I think that is one of the most important parts of my story, is just being around crazy, awesome, badass women who are just doing things in their life. So, that's one thing, is that I just surround myself with really happy, positive, successful people. And then it really keeps me motivated. It keeps me inspired. It keeps me pushing, like, if they can do this, so can you, Triss. Like, because you can. Like, you can do whatever you set your mind to, as long as you set your mind to it. It's like, I don't know. You just gotta,
You make perfect sense. And I preach this all the time because, people that I encounter are like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, I just shut off the brain, listen to the heart, and take action, because our thoughts can kill any forward momentum almost immediately. And that was one of the biggest like stoppers for me, is I would have these big goals, big dreams. And if I didn't have somebody right next to me to say, Sasha, go for them, I would talk myself out of them. So I completely agree with the sense of community. And in my personal experience, which I think you can relate and you can touch on here in a second, it was really hard for me to reach out to other women, other communities, other platforms for support, because I felt that my family should fill that spot. The people closest to me should be my support system. And the more I worked on myself and this personal development journey, I realized that they may not necessarily be those people. So I had to outsource my support. So do you have a similar experience, or what's your take on that?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always that hard, you can't make somebody be something that they're not, really. So for me, it was kind of like, I kind of touched base a little bit on this, but I was constantly trying to impress my family and make them proud of me, or do things that they would love or think was cool or whatever. I don't know. And so, it's hard when you just assume that somebody's going to be there for you, or assume somebody's going to give you that kind of encouragement and love that you're expecting. And then when it doesn't come, you're like floored, you're like shook, And so I haven't, I love my family and I know they love me, but there's always that expectation that sometimes it does not, um, abide to, I guess. And so it's just it's hard when you don't have the support from your family in areas of your life that you really wish you did. And so that's when, kind of like you gotta buckle down and you gotta find the people who are your people and who want to be there for you. And I've done that with my master studio that I've created. And I've also joined your group. I've joined, the Badass Mastery, and it's cool to have a group of women to go to and say, hey, what do you guys think of this? Like, help me get through this. Or I'm brainstorming in my business. What do you think of this? And that's, like I said, that type of community is crucial. Of course you can do it, I mean, on your own, you can only get so far, but when you reach out and you really jump that fence in growing as a person and getting uncomfortable and asking for help when you need it, then that's just really a game changer for me.
Oh, it has been for me too. And going back to the touch and base on the support system as your family, what really helped me work through that is that, yes, they are, quote, family, quote, blood, whatever you want to say, but they are also humans who are, separate people from you and have separate likes and dislikes. And not everybody is on the same journey, and so it's hard to ask for support from, like say your dad's a 50-year-old white male and you're going through an early 30s women's crisis. And so it's hard to ask for that support when they have really no idea what it's like in your shoes. And so finding that support of women who can not only hold you accountable, but have like a non-judgmental community where it's like, hey, I'm having this problem. You've been there. How did you deal with it? Or just like holding space for you to heal yourself and not wanting to fix you, and just letting you work through what your struggles on your own. And so kind of going off of that, you had mentioned your master studio, right? And you've been in this building this health and wellness or health and fitness business of yours since January. And you have made, like you said, leaps and bounds. So walk us through how you got to where you are today and what challenges you faced and how you overcame them in the business aspect.
So really how the Master Studio started is it's called our Sweat Now, Shine Later. It's a master studio. I think there's like 50 something women in there right now. And it started with like 6, which was like my mom and my 3 sisters and my best friend. My best friend was like, Triss, you're really, you're like on a roll. And I really like look forward to your posts and like all your words and things. And she's like, you should just create a group on Facebook and, we can all work out together and we can have this place. And I'm like, you know what? That scares me, but I'm just going to do it. I'm like, do you really think so? And she's like, yeah, do it. So it's kind of funny because I hold a lot of credit to her and pushing me to be like, girl, you're great. Like, just do it, And so I started it. And then when I started this fitness journey, I ended up getting these girls who were like, yeah, I want to do what you're doing. I can see what you're doing. And so I just started adding these women to this group. And I just wanted it to be a place where they could come to and they could say, hey, I'm struggling with this today. Or I'm kicking ass today. Look what I did today. Things like that, so that we can all kind of come together and help each other grow and then help each other, push and show up for themselves and, hold them accountable. And it's been really, really inspiring to see, the results. And some girls even share their before and after pictures in there and share their, I call them like non-scale victories where, I've always been a number gal growing up. I was on the scale 3 times a day. I would only eat bread and butter all through high school. Like, ask my parents. It's ridiculous. And so, for me, it was always a numbers game. So we have this non-scale victory where you post a picture and you're 2 jean sizes down and your jeans don't even fit anymore. Or, you know, something along the lines where a number is not involved. And I think that that's a really healthy place for a woman to start, is to just start and not focus on letting a number define you. And so that's kind of what I teach my girls, is to just start and finish a program and then just plug on to the next one. Like, keep pushing and keep moving, because you can really get into your head. But anyways, you know, I've added these girls to these groups, to this group, my studio, and we've just grown and we've taken off. And then I realized how many lives I was touching, and I just wanted to keep helping. I just wanted to help women and just see and make it a goal of mine to see how many women I could help and I could touch. And so I just kept growing, and I kept inviting these women to come with us and to join us. And now we've gotten a little bit bigger, and I'm doing these things called boot camps where we really zone into that. And there's always that fear of, oh, what does so-and-so think of my posts, or just putting myself out there on my post, you know, what does somebody think of me, or what kind of judgment will I get? Because I'm an open book on my Instagram and my Facebook. I talk really deep about the things I've gone through in life, and that scares the shit out of me. I mean, putting myself out there and telling somebody I was depressed and in a hallway shaking however many months ago, scares me. I don't, sometimes it's hard to put yourself out there and really show people how far you've come, because of that judgment in this type of world where we have that women are tearing off other women's crowns. And that's what I'm trying to put out to the world, that if you feel this way that I have felt, or you have the slightest similarity in my story, that you can do big things too, that you can make a change too. And so, yeah, it scares me all the time. Every single day I challenge myself to put myself out there a little bit more. And it scares me, but if that's what it takes to help somebody else realize their worth, or realize that they can just jump in and freaking start already, then hell, I'm just going to keep on doing it. And then, of course, the more women I help, the more my business, flourishes. So it's funny how the universe works, and serving you when you just, serve your happiness and do what makes you happy.
Yes, I love everything about this, because you still have sorry, my dog is like snoring hardcore behind me, and I'm like, shut up, Finn.
Oh, it's
but
fine.
Can you hear her? It's
absurd. No,
I can't. Shaking the floor. She's snoring so hard. So I'm sitting here trying not to laugh. But no, I love everything about this, because even though you're scared, you have this fear, you get out of your own head, because there is a bigger picture here, right? It's not, and I love this, because everybody's like, oh, in my experience, people are like, oh, you're so selfish to want to, I don't know, charge people for your help, or you're so selfish and like, oh, this is just about you and you're putting yourself out there. And it's like, wait a minute, no, like I'm doing these things for like the bigger picture. Like, I'm being vulnerable. I'm posting these scary posts. I'm putting myself out there in hopes that it will help somebody else. Like, for me anyways, it's not even about me or my actual story. I want to share my experience, my life, my vulnerabilities, my successes, my struggles with the world, with other women, in hopes that it will help them in their personal life. So if I'm hearing you right, you are right up that alley, and doing this not for yourself, but for others.
Oh yeah, 110%. Like the way that you just described is, you literally hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how I feel.
I knew I liked you for a reason. But no, I love it, because it is. And yes, this is, a business. This is a source of income for you and your family. But ultimately, that money, that income just helps you grow and expand as a person and reach more people. It's not like, and not to go on the money factor, but I know that a lot of women get hung up in the money, when they go to invest in themselves, either one, because they've never spent that kind of money, or two, they've never actually invested in themselves before. And so
Right.
taking that step from, am I worth it, to, yes, I'm worth it. But how do you,
Yeah.
so I know that you have women, or at least I'm assuming that you have women that want to make the change, but can't get past that step, or they may need your help to get past that step. And so have you had that experience? And if so, what do you say to that woman in that circumstance?
This is really funny you brought it up, because that was me. Like, I always thought, when somebody said, hey, do you want to do this? It's this much, whatever, it's however much money to do it, and and it's going to really actually benefit me. I had this problem when I started my fitness journey, and then I thought I couldn't do it when I joined your badass mastery program. I literally was like, nah, I can't do it. But the second you told me, Sasha, whether you can or you can't, you're right. And after I got off that phone call, I tell my girls that all the time, because that for me was like, shit, am I really going to do this to myself, where I'm going to let myself, I'm going to convince myself that I can't? I'm not even going to try. I had no intention of, trying to look into the money to buy my nutrition for my fitness thing. I was like, you know what? I just can't do it. And I didn't even try. I was just like, I can't do it. And then when I was like, you know what? I have nothing else to lose. I've never spent, and if I do spend money on myself, it's freaking a Big Mac from McDonald's, or like something really shitty, And so
Yeah.
I find it funny how I was able to convince myself that shitty food and materialistic things were more important than what I was putting into my body, and the exercise and the things that I was doing with my body. And then I was really sadly prioritizing the crappier things in life, when all I needed to do was just switch my mindset and be like, okay, I need to like serve me, because I feel like crap. And so yeah, I run into women like that all the time, who are like, I just can't make it work right now. And I always say, you can or you can't, whichever one you decide, you're right. And you just got to do the things to figure it out. You just got to figure it out, because you are the most important person in your journey. And that's, for me, that's what I tell the girls is, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you start. I'm here to help you begin, but you have to decide to do it. You have to be the one to say, look, now is the time to freaking change my life. Now I'm going to do the things to get to my goals. They're not just goals and dreams that you write on a piece of paper. That's not a thing. You have to do the things to get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
To change your life. And it's funny when I'm in this place now, because I'm just like, why didn't I get this 5 years ago? Like, it's that easy to just be like, you know what, you find a way, and you make it happen. You make the change.
Yeah. And I get hung up on myself too. I'm like, why didn't I start this journey like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Like, I mean, I did, but I wasn't in the same mental space that I am now. And I have to remind myself that the teacher appears when the student is ready. And I just wasn't ready until I was. And
right.
Then somebody helps you see the light. And then once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's not like you could go back to the old
right.
Trissa. You can't go back to the old Sasha. And so you have all this new knowledge and you're like, I just want to share it with everybody. And you're right though. Like the goals, the dreams, the everything is so much more than just writing it on a piece of paper and stashing it away. Like I am a firm believer in the law of attraction. I am. But
yes.
In the word attraction is the word action.
Mm-hmm.
And without action, you will not get to where you want to be. You can't just sit on your ass and, sit on the couch and shove your face full of, I don't know, I was a chips and dip and Diet Mountain Dew person and hope that one day I'm going to win the lottery and my life's going to change. Because honestly, even if I did win the lottery, my life was not going to fucking change. I would just have a lot more money to sit on my ass and eat potato chips. You know?
Yeah.
It's the mindset. It's not about the money. It's not about all of these materialistic things. It's about your inner inner strength, inner drive to want to change and to just be genuinely happy without all the materialistic shit.
Yep. Like,
at least
amen.
for me.
Oh yeah. I like preaching to the choir.
This is why I knew I'd love this conversation. We're just gonna sit here and like preach back and forth.
Yes.
Like, hell yeah, sister, hell yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
So, I know, I love everything about this. So, okay, so let's talk about kind of a day in the life of Trissa. You know, like you talked a little bit about what life was like before. You know, you filled us in on, you know, a lot of the struggles that you had, you know, with your family, with anxiety, with depression, like debilitating anxiety and depression to the point where you said you were just in a crumpled up ball. So I'm getting the sense that life's not really like that anymore. So, I mean, I know it can, you know, change in the drop of a hat, but kind of walk us through what your day looks like now.
Now, you know, I've always been like not a morning person. I always used to sleep in or sleep the day away, I guess, so to speak. It doesn't help that my daughter sleeps until like 10:30.
Oh, I wish mine did.
So I'm like, oh yes, but really, you know, ever since I started this journey, I started to figure out that, you know, in this business, you know, you wake up early, you get more shit done. And I'm getting a lot better at it. And so, you know, with the Badass Mastery program, it's kind of helped me, like, you need a morning routine, because really the mornings are the most important part. You're literally setting your day up for success. And when people told me that, I was like, okay, early bird gets the worm. Like, you can have the worm. I don't want the worm. Like, I literally was always like, I'll lay in bed. Like, there's no way. And now just this morning I got up at 5:30. I did a 40-minute workout, and I drank some water. I did a meditation before this call, you know, where I literally sat in pitch darkness, closed my eyes, put my phone on silent. It was upstairs, and I was downstairs in this bedroom, and I literally visualize how I want my day to go. So, you know, like things that I sit down there and I just, you know, cross-legged, and I sit there and I think, you know what, I'm going to help this many women today. What am I, you know, I'm going to crush this call with Sasha. I'm going to, make this Monday a badass Monday. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to eat right. And I really tell myself and visualize how I want my day to go as if it's already happened. And so, you know, that's another, as if it's already happened. And you basically like, okay, that's how my day's going to go. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. And that's just kind of how I start my day. And I like to get like fresh air. I like to either do, you know, sometimes we have calls or trainings, or I talk to a new coach that's on my team in the mornings, and I'll walk outside like barefoot. I live in the country. And so I'll walk outside in my yard, and I'll get fresh air, and I'll drink some water. I always start my mornings off with a freaking bang. And it's been crucial to not only getting my everyday like personal to-do list done, but I'm literally getting everything on my business list to, you know, done by 10:30 in the morning. And it feels amazing to take, you know, like how you always say is the decision fatigue out of it. Yes. Where you're like, it's already done. Now I can rock the day with fun and I don't know, whatever I want to do. But I really am, I'm really killing my morning game right now. And so I'm really feeling that. And I'm just going to keep running with that, because truly whatever you do to feel good is something that you're just supposed to be doing. And so, and then the rest of the day I hang out with my kids, and I listen to some personal development. You know, I do the Audible app, and I listen to all these amazing, you know, business, personal development, and really personal, just like for me to serve me and grow, because again, you don't grow without, you know, the more you know, the more you grow. And I just, I'm constantly trying to find something new that I can be better than the Trissa I was yesterday, rather than comparing myself to somebody else that I think who they are when they're actually not. So, you know, I'm just digging deep, and I'm doing the things that help me physically, you know, with my fitness and stuff. And and diving into my girls every day. And again, surrounding myself with positive people who are literally taking action to do the things they want. And then, diving into personal development and really serving my mind, because again, anxiety and depression will really, like you said, drop of the hat. It'll change your world if you're not on top of it.
Yep. And I love that. I'm also a big fan. You had mentioned the Audible app, and I am a huge audiobook person. I thought that like a couple years ago, somebody's like, you should listen to audiobooks because I have like a 45-minute commute wherever I go, which I used to hate, but now I'm like, yes, I get 45 minutes to go listen to a book. If I do that twice, it's an hour and a half. Like I get so many books read in a week.
Yes.
So what's your favorite personal development book?
Oh my gosh, this one is like a no-brainer for me. Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. You guys, it's so good.
I love that book.
I cried so many times. I was kind of like, when I first started doing Audible, I'm like, okay, this is weird, like listening to somebody read a book to me. But yeah, when you're a busy mom, you make it work. I mean, I wasn't going to pick up a book, so I might as well. I mean, there were a few times, like I love Brene Brown. I've checked out a few books from the library of hers, but and then I figured out Audible has all of them anyways. So I listen to books all the time on Audible now, but I also love You Are a Badass. Who's the author for that again?
Jen Sincero. She
That's
is one of my favorites.
Oh, yes. So I'm currently listening. I've already done Girl Wash Your Face, but I'm probably going to listen to it again, because if you're a woman or a mom, it's going to change your world.
Yep.
But yeah, she's my favorite, Rachel Hollis, for sure.
Awesome. All right, cool. So a couple more questions I have for you before we wrap this up. So what's the theme? What's next for Trissa? What's coming up for you?
What I'm super, super pumped about is I'm holding a boot camp for September, and it's my birthday bash boot camp. Basically, my birthday's in September. It's September 30th. I'm turning 26, and I thought, you know what? Getting fit or getting healthier is really hard for women to see, like the fun in it or the excitement or the chance that they can change their body and change their mind. And it's hard to stick with it. So I wanted to create a boot camp that was more fun, more exciting. I'm even giving away some giveaways during the birthday boot camp, because, what's a party without presents? But basically, I decided to create this boot camp to touch as many women as possible in my birthday month. Like that's just my goal is what more to give myself than more friendships and helping somebody else get healthier. And so I'm super pumped for that boot camp. It's going to be a blast. I've already got some girls like super pumped for it. And so registration is open for it. I'll close it August 31st, but as of right now, I'm so pumped. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be a different type of, fitness boot camp, so to speak, I guess.
Gonna have some personal development in there too, huh?
Yes.
I love it. Okay, cool. So my last question for you is then, how do people get more of you?
Really, I'm super active on my social media. So if you're interested in joining anything, or if you're just interested in like seeing what the hell I do every day, I have a like page on Facebook. It's called Fitness with Triss. And then on Instagram, it's Trissa Bodorf, but it's Fitness with Triss is my username. And I'm really active with my email. So it's also fitnesswithtriss@outlook.com. So if you don't have Facebook or Instagram and you just whatever, you can definitely get a hold of me via email. That's a super effective way. And then in my Instagram bio, there's a link in my Instagram bio that when you click it, there is, a link to actually fill out a form to join the birthday bash boot camp. And that's a good way to get it. And then I'll start emailing you back and forth, and we'll get you signed up and registered and all that good stuff.
Awesome. I
Yes.
love it. Okay, so one last thing. Sorry, this is the last thing, I promise. I won't keep you much longer. So what is your advice to the woman listening to this? The woman who's stuck, the woman who's anxious, depressed, wants to start her fitness journey, doesn't really know how to start. You know, the woman that you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago, what do you say to that woman?
Oh my gosh.
Without crying. I'm just kidding.
know.
You can cry. You can
No,
cry if you
I was like, oh shit, you're asking me, and I'm like, oh god, just keep it together. You know, stop getting in your own way, and start doing something for yourself for once. You know, do something for you. Quit being so scared and just do it. Just start doing. But yeah,
I love that.
I mean, that's really how I started. I just did it. Even if it scared me, even if I felt disgusting or I felt gross or whatever shit you tell yourself, keep pushing, keep going, because those thoughts, they will subside. You will get better, you'll get healthier, and you'll get happier.
So, it's true. You will.
Yeah.
Shut off the brain and take action. I love it.
Yeah, true that.
I absolutely loved this conversation. I hope the woman listening to this enjoyed it just as much as I did. I love talking with you. I feel like every time we talk, you have an aha moment, I have an aha moment, and we're just like preaching to each other and we're like lifting each other up, and it's like, yeah, go team. So we're just these cheerleaders sitting. It is. We're just these like life cheerleaders hanging over in the corner saying like, you can do it. And
I believe in you.
Exactly. I love it. We'll just hold up these little crowd signs and just cheer everybody on. So, all right. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me, to tell women your story, you know, be open and honest and vulnerable. You know, it just goes to show that if you can do it, anybody can do it. And
yes,
I just love
Thank
this so
you
much.
so much. It's been so fun. I was looking forward to this. Oh, it's so great. I love it. So thank you for letting me come
thank
on
you. And thank you to everybody tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed this podcast, this episode. If you do, I would love it. I would appreciate it so much if you could leave a 5-star review. It helps get the word out. It helps expand the podcast. It helps me reach new people to interview, to help you in this journey. So again, if you could leave a 5-star review, I would be forever grateful to you. Share it with a friend. And until next time, go be a badass at everything you do. You can do it. And I will see you guys next time.